Recently, the US declassified 3 million documents related to the Epstein case, and the 52-year-old Crown Princess of Norway has been caught in the crosshairs. As it turns out, she was a close associate of the pedophile tycoon. Simultaneously, her eldest son is standing rape trial, a double blow that has shattered public expectations of the family's moral standing. In Epstein's leaked emails, Crown Princess Mette-Marit's name appears over 1,000 times. The Crown Princess issued an apology stating, "I lacked judgment and did not know what kind of person Epstein was. I made a wrong decision and I am deeply ashamed of my association with him." However, she truly underestimated the investigative prowess of netizens. As the pages of emails are turned, it is revealed that the Crown Princess addressed Epstein as "my friend and my love." This was no ordinary acquaintance. The tone was much more akin to flirtation. As early as 2008, Epstein pleaded guilty to soliciting minors for prostitution. How could she possibly claim she didn't know what kind of person he was? It was nothing more than a case of coveting a tycoon's wealth and desperately trying to ingratiate herself. But what goes around comes around. With the future queen fawning over a pedophile mogul and her son suspected of raping 4 women, the Norwegian royal family is now plunged into its greatest crisis in 120 years. I once wrote about Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway, who married Crown Prince Haakon in 2001 and was once dubbed the ugliest princess. Anyway, let's set looks aside today and talk about character. Before her marriage, she was a wild child, a high school dropout, and a go-go dancer who smoked, drank, and had her eldest son, Marius, with a drug-dealing ex-boyfriend. She met Haakon while working at a music festival, and he treated her like a treasure, creating a storybook romance. A single mother carrying her son into the royal palace, it was the ultimate real-life Cinderella legend. Now, the Cinderella persona has utterly collapsed. Her eldest son, having nothing better to do with his life, faces 38 charges, including rape, sexual abuse, violence, drug use, and the theft, a full house of vices. For the past few years, the royal family has hired top-tier lawyers to defend him and secure his release on bail. Just days ago, on the eve of his trial, Marius was caught threatening someone with a knife. The police have arrested him once again, and now the world is watching to see if the royal family will try to bail him out yet again. Mette-Marit is just as scandalous as her son. I've done some deep digging, and her apology contains 3 major contradictions. First, she feigned ignorance about Epstein's identity, claiming she should have investigated his background more thoroughly. In reality, she not only knew everything, but proactively sought him out. As I've written before, Prince Andrew served as a UK trade envoy, involving himself in power, money, and sex trades with Epstein. Mette-Marit followed a similar path. For the sake of wealth and high society life, she became besties with the tycoon, sharing everything with him. She met with Epstein at least 3 times in New York, on the island of street bars, and in Florida, and possibly Oslo. For ordinary friends, seeing each other once a year can feel like a lot, yet these two made a point of meeting up wherever they were. Documents show that the relationship between Mette-Marit and Epstein began in January 2011 during the World Economic Forum in Davos. Boris Nikolic, a scientific advisor to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, met Mette-Marit at Davos. Afterward, Nikolic wrote to Epstein asking if he would be in New York in March, as a friend was coming to visit. She is not the kind of royal you would imagine. She is quite quirky. Epstein replied to the Gates advisor after searching for information on Mette-Marit. She's a mess. Mette-Marit in turn wrote to Epstein, I searched for information on you. It's not great. Despite both clearly knowing about each other's dark pasts, they became close friends anyway after all. Their values aligned, and they saw eye to eye. Why would a crown princess want to know Epstein? This mogul organized elite circles, providing private jets, luxury mansions, and the Lolita Express orgies on his private island. Even Bill Gates was fond of him. European royalty cannot spend money freely, so Mette-Marit naturally found his lifestyle even more appealing. The second major contradiction in Mette-Marit's apology lies in her claim that she and Crown Prince Haakon accidentally ran into Epstein on the street while vacationing in St. Barts, asserting this was their only encounter. In reality, neither Haakon nor Mette-Marit is a wide-eyed innocent. The couple were longtime acquaintances of Gates' advisor, Boris Nikolic, and were well acquainted with the flamboyant and bizarre lifestyles of the ultra-wealthy. In late December of that year, Haakon and Mette-Marit were likely invited to vacation in St. Barts. Epstein sent Mette-Marit New Year's greetings from the island and specifically asked, "How can I see you?" This was clearly a scheduled rendezvous, not a chance encounter on the street. Mette-Marit was evidently curious about the mogul's activities on the island, asking, "Is it fun?" To which he replied, "Yes." These emails serve as another slap in the face to her official apology. Haakon vacationed with her and met the billionaire tycoon alongside her. Perhaps he even thought his wife was an exceptionally gifted socialite. The third major contradiction is that Mette-Marit claimed her relationship with Epstein was merely social, but in reality their conversations were utterly unrestrained and shocking. In an email, Mette-Marit consulted Epstein. "Is it inappropriate for a mother to recommend 2 wallpapers of naked women carrying surfboards to her 15-year-old son?" Epstein replied, "Let the child decide for himself." The teenager who was advised with the naked women wallpaper is none other than Marius, who is now on trial for allegedly raping 4 women. Mette-Marit sought parenting advice from a perverted sexual deviant, allowing or even encouraging her son to view images of naked women, and indeed ended up with a son who became a rapist. Epstein also sought advice from Mette-Marit on finding a wife. In 2012, the mogul asked her, "How's the weather? I'm looking for a wife. Parisian women are interesting, but I prefer the Scandinavian style." Epstein mentioned he had met some women in their mid-20s, to which Mette-Marit replied, "24 or 25. Haha, are you drunk or did you type the wrong numbers?" She added, "Paris is for affairs. Scandinavians are the type more suitable to be wives." She concluded with, "I love Oslo too. Call me tomorrow." Discussing affairs is hardly the talk of ordinary friends. One can't help but wonder what kind of women Mette-Marit might have scouted for Epstein. She knew exactly what kind of man Epstein was, even proactively bringing up Vladimir Nabokov, the author of Lolita. "Now, I understand why you like these books." Mette-Marit herself was incredibly flirtatious, praising Epstein as being very charming and telling him, "You always make me smile because you tease my brain." Honestly, if those aren't the words of 2 people flirting, what are? Epstein was also quite attentive to her health. At the time, early signs of Mette-Marit's chronic pulmonary fibrosis were already appearing, and doctors had warned her about the risks of smoking. Epstein suggested she spend a few days recovering at his mansion in Palm Beach, Florida, even having his staff arrange her flights and a driver. Mette-Marit flew out to the estate with a friend, and by then, her way of addressing him had completely changed. "Darling, love, you haven't returned my calls or messages, but I'm already in Palm Beach. Where are you?" The two met once again. Epstein had already been sentenced to 13 months back in 2008, yet Mette-Marit maintained close contact with him from 2011 to 2014. Even as late as Christmas 2018, Gates' advisor revealed that she was vacationing at Epstein's Palm Beach mansion. When you add it all up, she compromised herself just for a few days in a luxury estate, private jet rides, and extravagant holidays. For Mette-Marit, defying the odds to marry a crown prince simply wasn't enough. She craved the thrill of the billionaire lifestyle and found the royal circle tedious. She complained to Epstein about the wedding of the hereditary Grand Duke of Luxembourg in October 2012, calling it so boring, just like an old movie. You know these characters won't be around for long. The Luxembourgish royal couple had a classic aristocratic union. As some netizens pointed out, it's no surprise a former wild child couldn't stand a traditional ceremony. She showed up in a black lace dress, looking like she was attending a funeral talk about being boring and incredibly rude. As Norwegian royal expert Ole Jørgen Schussrud Hansen puts it, the crown princess has never been someone who enjoys being alone. This former wild child princess is far more scandalous than Britain's Prince Andrew or Sweden's Princess Sophia. After all, the latter two aren't future monarchs, and they certainly didn't play the game as well as she did, becoming besties who shared everything with a perverted mogul. Crown Prince Haakon is either hopelessly blinded by love or the entire family is just plain foolish. With this double blow of scandal, can this couple really hold on to their throne and continue to enjoy their life of luxury?